Hey, how's it going, guys? This is my third video update for July 2008. As many of you guys already know, it's been quite a while since I posted my last video here on YouTube. I've been extremely busy with work and everything, so I haven't had a lot of time to post another video. And of course my mic on my camera broke on me, so I had to send that into the factory to get fixed. And it took them quite a while to send me one back. That's probably because their factory was located somewhere in India or China, because most of our good jobs have been outsourced. But I'm sorry for the delay, and I hope everyone who watches these videos is doing fine. I'm thankful for all the new subscriptions that I receive daily here on my YouTube channel also. It's good to know that there's still a network of people out there that is also increasing in numbers by the day, that is deeply concerned with what's going on in America, and not just America but all around the world, whether it be Russia or Europe or even parts of Asia. So that's always refreshing to know. I wanted to talk about self-defense because I've gotten so many emails from people asking me to talk about self-defense. I've been shooting firearms since I was about 7 years old, and I've been taking martial art lessons since I was 7 years old too. So I know quite a bit about that. So I thought I'd talk about that in my next video. When it comes to self-defense, I think you can't go wrong with guns. In fact, guns are probably just as essential as food is when it comes to preparing for an economic collapse. Because you can have all the food you want in the world in your home, but if you have no weapons to defend yourself and your family with, and someone breaks into your home and they have a gun pointed at you, there's not really a whole lot you can do about it. So make sure you have a good weapon at least, and don't put yourself in that position when the time comes. Because, like I said in my last video, crime rates will shoot through the roof, especially if you live in a big city. But hopefully you're planning on moving out if you do already. And there is a chance that martial law could be enacted. So, like I said, don't put yourself in that position. Make sure you have at least one firearm on each level of your home. Or if you just have a one-level house, make sure it's spread. You have a few spread out all over your home, because if someone breaks into your basement, it would be better to go into your room or your bathroom to get a gun instead of your basement where the intruder is. So make sure you look into that too. The average family of 4 should have at least 2 firearms, one long-range and one short-range weapon. For example, a pistol and a rifle, or a shotgun and a rifle. Also, ideally, you should have about 4 to 6 magazines per weapon. Make sure you have about at least 2 years worth of ammo, because you might have to go hunting too. Hunting knives are also just as essential because there's so much you can do with them. You can go hunt, you can go fishing, you can build things. So make sure you have at least 4 to 6 good quality hunting knives. Make sure they're all different shapes and sizes so you can do different things with them. If you have an alarm system, chances are it probably won't work during an economic collapse. So make sure you have a guard dog or two. Something that's a little intimidating, like a pit bull or a German Shepherd. I have a pit bull, and it's quite intimidating. In fact, my mailman won't even drop mail off at my door anymore. He will drop it off at the end of my driveway. So that's kind of funny. And if you have some free time and some extra cash, look into taking some martial art lessons, because you can never go wrong there. But that's really all you need to know when it comes to self-defense. Just keep it simple. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. Some of the best martial artists are where they are today because not because they know a bunch of fancy moves, but because they're good at what they do, because they practice on a regular basis. So go down to the shooting range at least once a week, get reacquainted with your weapon, and take your family, your husband, or your wife down there and shoot it. And it will be a lot of fun too. But like I said, that's all you need to know when it comes to self-defense. Just some basic stuff, that's all. Just make sure you're practicing every week, whether it be martial arts or shooting your firearm. A lot of people don't trust the government anymore. They see all of these highly manipulated and cooked up numbers that they release, and they know that they have a different agenda. Back in May of 2008, the government said there were about 49,000 jobs that were lost in May of 2008. However, this, like everything they release, is highly manipulated. Like I said, there were about 285,000 jobs that were lost in May of 2008. Unemployment rose from about 5% to 5.5%. They said non-farm payroll employment declined by 49,000, but keep in mind that this number was manipulated upward because of the business birth-to-death model, which is the BLS's favorite tool. This model actually added about 217,000 jobs to the total. The birth and to death addition is actually based on an imaginary number of jobs created that aren't even counted. So the government, everything they've been releasing lately, not just lately, for many years now, has been highly manipulated or inaccurate. If they had told the truth, they would have said that payroll employment actually declined by about 266,000 jobs. So people, like I said, they don't trust the government anymore because they lie out of their back teeth about everything, because they have a different agenda. They're good at creating a problem, but they're not good at finding a solution. They're good at creating a problem, but they don't want most of you to know that they're the ones creating that problem. They want to blame it on the oil companies and everyone else underneath the sun, but supply and demand has very little to do with high oil prices. It's the Federal Reserve, a privately owned bank which now has more powers to further regulate, thanks to our blood-sucking politicians in Congress and all of the government. I can't believe they're giving all of this power to a privately owned bank. But I'm sure George Washington and our founders are turning in their graves right now. A lot of people think Ben Bernanke can do what Paul Volcker did in the 1980s to fight off inflation by raising interest rates 20%. But the fact is, if Bernanke did what Paul Volcker did in the 1980s, the American economy would collapse. It would completely collapse. So Bernanke isn't going to raise interest rates 20% anytime soon. I keep hearing people talk about Paul Volcker because of the mess we're in right now, but this is going to be much worse than the 1980s. We were in a totally different environment in the 1980s than we are now. We didn't have $10 trillion of debt, national debt, and the majority of that wasn't financed into your T-bills. That was owned by the Saudis, the Chinese, the Japanese, and other foreign entities like today. In the 1980s, we had much less national debt. The majority of that debt was in 30-year government bonds, which was actually owned by other Americans. So like I said, we're in a totally different environment than we are now, and the Fed has created that environment. There's a lot of riots going on now all around the world, in parts of Europe and India, about because of the high oil prices. But we haven't even reached a boiling point yet, and it's going to get much worse. Gases get much higher than $5 a gallon, and oil is going to get much higher than $175 a barrel. This is why I can't stress enough that you should be ready and spend your time to prepare for what's coming. Don't waste your time buying things you don't need, because a lot of Americans are going to be waking up pretty soon. because I wish they had voted for Ron Paul when they had the chance, but now people they're gonna wake up the hard way, and it's not gonna be pretty. So I gotta go. I'm pressed for time right now, but I hope everyone's doing fine. And until next time, I hope all of you guys stay safe and prepare for what's coming. God bless.